Hey guys, this is Daniel,
And Matthew, and we
and
are
we are
that
that
damn
damn brand.
brand.
Oh well, that was a failure.
We're dragging it out way longer than we probably should, but we're back with another podcast episode, episode 7. And today we've got kind of a lot of things to discuss. I don't know how long this episode's going to be, but we'll try and keep it relatively succinct and try not to go off on too many tangents. Unless you guys like tangents. If you do, let us know and we'll make a podcast just about tangents.
I can go on tangents all the time.
I mean, I can too, but you know. So
Yeah.
as we're recording this, the biggest news to come out of gaming right now is Billy Mitchell. If you haven't seen or heard, Billy Mitchell at one point in time, I don't know if well, he definitely currently is not, but at one point in time, he
Mhm.
was the world record holder for the highest score in Donkey Kong, like the original arcade version of the game. There was a very awesome documentary about him and his competitors called The King of Kong, which came out in 2007. And I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but that's where I saw it. I saw it on Netflix. So if you can go, if you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it. It's actually really well done. But anyway, the course of that documentary basically chronicles Billy Mitchell's attempt to claim the top spot in Donkey Kong, getting the highest score or whatever. And then his main competitor is a guy named Steve Wiebe or Wiebke or something like that. And it basically portrays Steve as the good guy and Billy as the bad guy, good versus evil, like the typical struggle in pretty much any genre of uh, movies, video games, etc. And basically today it was discovered that Billy Mitchell is a fucking cheater. He was being investigated because the footage that he had submitted to Twin Galaxies, which is a high score verification site for video games, his footage was investigated, and it was shown that the images portrayed on his footage could only be produced by an emulator, and specifically MAME, which stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulation. And so, him using MAME to produce his high score is a big no-no because they don't allow emulators in this video game registry or whatever. So, what do you think about all this, Daniel?
He cheated. Like, it's good he got caught. Sucks that it took so long, but I don't know. I'm not really a big person following along who has the highest Pac-Man, Galaga, and Donkey Kong scores. So it sucks that it happens. I kind of don't care either way.
Well, I mean,
But
it's just kind of a big deal in the world of gaming. Like I said, I mean, they made a documentary about it for fuck's sake,
no,
like,
I get what you're saying. Like it is kind of a big deal that someone who got so much fame off of that is caught for cheating. But I never cared who got the highest score of Donkey Kong to begin with, so it's not like a fallen hero in my eyes.
right.
It's kind of just some dude that I kind of knew about but didn't care about before, so I don't care now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically what they said about it though was since he was caught cheating, obviously his records on Twin Galaxies are no longer they don't no longer stand or whatever. And he's also been banned from further competitions, like he can no longer contribute anything to Twin Galaxies at all.
Which is
And
good.
well, yeah, no, of course I agree. I feel like that's the best punishment. Um, Also, there's speculation that he could lose his Guinness World Records, which he also should. I think,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
yeah, because the way that Guinness does their video game high scores is they use Twin Galaxies. So if Twin Galaxies is banning him and saying, "Hey, he's a big fucking cheater," then Guinness should, if they're smart, be like, "Yeah, he's a big fucking cheater," and retract it. And so that would mean, I think what I read is that Steve Wiebke guy is the one who has the current high score in that case. So
I I guess like I said, all this stuff should be happening, but either way, I wouldn't care.
yeah. Well, for those of us that do care, it's interesting stuff. It's kind of a big controversy. It was covered by like everybody. I mean, hell, I think the first URL or site or whatever that I saw that posted was Variety. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
it even came out before. I mean, I'm not positive on this, but I think it came out before Kotaku, Polygon, GameSpot, etc. Like all of them started covering it. I saw it on Variety.com first. So, um, if it's just getting mainstream news. I didn't check to see if it was on like CNN or anything, but
Right.
like since gaming is so mainstream these days, it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
Yeah, I agree with you. When Captain America died, that made mainstream.
Well,
So I'm gonna say this one. Well, okay.
fair enough. And so the next thing we wanted to get to is the upcoming Destiny 2 expansion called Warmind. And as far as that goes, that's really all we know in terms of the actual expansion itself is the name. Daniel and I haven't played Destiny 2 in months. Probably since the
So
last expansion came out, right? Curse of
we
Osiris.
we played through the expansion and then that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you were starting to get into PvP, but then they said they were gonna change it, so you're like, fuck it.
Well, I enjoyed the PvP, and I was just trying to get some of the stuff from it, like the ambles, or I forgot what they're called, like the
Ingrams are the
Ingrams, yeah, the weekly challenges. I have nothing against PvP. I actually like PvP, so I was doing that, but I just didn't care enough.
there's not enough content, but
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to fix with these updates and stuff. I'm not sure if this. I think this is an expansion that we get as being members of the season pass, like season pass holders, but I'm not certain on that.
I'm pretty sure it is, but it should honestly be like just I'm sorry DLC for everyone.
Like the Division, which
Yeah,
also announced today that they released another update, which added like global events and stuff like that. But and we had a brief discussion off camera. We were talking about how the basically Destiny is following the Division down the path of trying not to suck anymore.
I don't think people who didn't buy the season pass are going to give this a chance unless really good reviews come out. And so this is the last time for them to prove to the fan base who spent the money on the season pass that they're willing to bring their game up to speed to what people want it to be.
Right. I agree with you. I feel like you can only have so many chances, and the consumer base can only put so much of their faith into you before you fuck it up for good. So
Yeah, the base game didn't have enough content, had no end game at all. And then the expansion, like, what the hell was that? 2 hours worth of gameplay, one strike added when there was only three strikes in the main game? Like,
yeah, but so going along with the expansion, they also have like a roadmap image or whatever. So coming with the Warmind expansion on May 8th, they also said they were going to add private matches, a loot vault increase, exotic weapon masterworks, heroic strike modifiers, nightfall challenge cards, which I have no idea what the hell that is, seasonal vendor progression, which I thought there already was, like with the snow event, like that to me
yeah,
that seems like, or maybe
seasonal,
yeah, but maybe they mean seasonal in terms of like their PvP mode seasons or whatever.
like
Um,
Overwatch.
yeah, yeah. Multi emotes, which I maybe that means you can have more than one emote in a slot because I remember having to switch to different emotes.
Yeah, that was stupid they had to do that to begin with, but whatever. I guess it's groundbreaking for them.
Yeah, I like the sweeping emote that I had though, and I forgot some of the other ones, but you had the salt one, right? The spring.
Yeah.
I think it's called Seasons or whatever, but yeah, that one was cool. And then there's one other thing with that was seasonal Crucible rankings, which Crucible was the PvP. So, it seems like they are trying, and time will tell whether or not it succeeds because we didn't even pick up the game when they released their last like update, the Go Fast one or whatever.
Yeah, amazing.
So
I don't know, everything that you just said, none of it really says content to me. It just says making events, like a seasonal event. So, okay, so now you have seasons for the Crucible, but no one liked the Crucible. Like, it doesn't solve the problem.
right. Well, like I said, we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. I I don't have high hopes for the expansion, but here on the channel, since we own the season pass, we'll probably give it a shot.
Yeah, I
I
pay for
don't,
it.
yeah, exactly. I don't think we'll stream it because OBS is like, well, first of all, when that's another fucking thing, I could go on a tangent, but I'm gonna try to keep it pretty succinct. When Destiny 2 first launched, I did try and stream it, but Bungie has this thing where they're like, "Oh, you can't stream Destiny 2 because it gives someone a competitive advantage." Like, are you fucking kidding me? A competitive advantage like in PvP? So, all right, I'm watching this guy stream. Oh shit, he's about to turn the corner. Like, there's got to be like a shit ton of lag. Like there's no way it would actually give someone a competitive advantage. I think that's complete and utter bullshit.
And
So
Twitch is like 15 seconds behind anyway,
that's
so
what I'm talking about. Like
yeah.
the lag, you know. So like even if you do see someone, like if you're watching his screen, you see someone go around the corner. By the time you actually look back at your screen, he probably would have already killed you. So yeah, that's fucking dumb. I think it was a lame excuse for them to say in the to begin with. And so I doubt we'll be streaming it, but we might do the usual footage capture and put a video up on YouTube or something. So potentially be on the lookout for that. And do you want to mention the next topic?
I forget the name of the game, but Cliffy B's back.
Radical Heights.
Radical Heights. Yeah, it kind of looked weird. It looked well. It's an game that's inspired by PUBG, by
Fort.
Fortnite, whatever the fuck battle royale insert here. Um, yeah, I'm actually very disappointed in Cliffy, to be honest. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with him. I love his games, minus the last one, Lawbreakers. But like, I don't really like him as a person because he's a douchebag.
Major douche.
So Gears is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and Cliffy
Mine
made
too.
it. So I like his work. I don't like him, but I do respect him as a game creator, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
And I think maybe it was because Lawbringers didn't bring in
Lawbreak
anything.
Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers, I'm sorry. See, that's how much I cared about it.
Yeah.
Um, maybe it's because I didn't bring up in as much money, so now he's just like riding the bandwagon to get some cash back. Maybe trying to use his name, being like, "Oh, I'm Cliffy, and I'm gonna be doing this," which is kind of funny because of all the shit he talked about before with his previous game. How like kids wouldn't know a proper arena shooter if they hit him in the face, and now he's doing that. Like I'm disappointed in him that he's following the bandwagon, but I guess if he's low on cash, I can see why he's doing it.
I mean, I wrote an article on the website, thatdamnbrand.com,
Mm.
mentioning the whole battle royale trend. And at the time of the writing, I want to say that I already was aware of like at least four other battle royale games aside from PUBG and Fortnite. And here comes another one fucking out of the blue, and that's something that I think I mentioned too, is that there'll probably be a lot more before the genre essentially implodes on itself because it's going to become so saturated. Like right now the battle royale genre is like the new hotness, and so everyone's trying to do it because of the success of Fortnite and PUBG. But from what I read, I still have not played the game. I actually did download it's because it's an open alpha right now on Steam.
Oh,
Radical
it
Heights.
is?
Yeah,
I didn't know
Radical.
that.
Yeah. Radical Heights is on open alpha on Steam. So I downloaded it. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. But what I was reading on the reviews is that a lot of people were saying that it was basically a quick cash in, like essentially, like even though they're not paying for it yet, they're saying that um, it was like maybe 2 to 4 months of development time, and then they pushed it out. Like it's buggy, and the hitboxes are janky, and so they just kind of wanted to get something out there to get people aware of it. And they're just gonna it's essentially gonna be an early access game, from what my understanding of it. And so they're just going to potentially keep pushing updates and bug fixes, as necessary. But right now, people are saying it's almost an unplayable mess. But
Pulling the Sea of Thieves.
kind of, yeah. But I haven't had a chance to play it, so I can't honestly speak on it from my heart. But I kind of agree with you on that. I'm disappointed in Cliffy. I'm also a huge Gears fan, and you know, aside from I didn't even play Lawbreakers. I thought the concept was intriguing, but it didn't do enough to kind of pull me in. And then when I started reading the reviews of it and everything, I'm like, yeah, no, it probably was just like essentially another Judgment.
I played it for a little while, and
Lawbreakers.
yeah, that was it was free for a little while. I forgot, maybe it was a beta or something like right before launch.
Mm.
It was a pretty generic, to be honest. It was an arena shooter, which was kind of refreshing, but it was kind of generic at the same time.
But if I remember correctly, the point of it was that you could like fight upside down and like
Yeah,
sideways. And I mean, how did that work? Was there like something that, like, say you instigated a power and it made you turn like this,
it was
or
too long ago. I don't remember.
okay?
I just remember not really caring.
It's probably one of those games where it had very like, what's the word I'm looking for?
High level of mastery.
No, gimmick. the gimmick thing about how you could fight upside down and sideways, like that was its thing, was the gimmick.
Yeah,
And because it focused so much on the gimmick that it couldn't master the rest of it, like how to be a good shooter, like just as a base. And so it's just probably real generic aside from the gimmick.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, Radical Heights, we'll see if it takes off. Um, I'm still gonna try and give it a shot soon, so maybe there'll be a video on that as well. Just
If it leads to him doing something good, I'm all for it. But
something better, yeah.
yeah,
All right. Well, did you want to mention Sprint Vector?
it was fun. Okay. Yeah, so I played Spring Vector over the weekend. It was free for Oculus Rift Gold Rush promotion, which is celebrating their 2 year anniversary. And it was just pretty interesting. I enjoyed. We have a video up there of me of the last race that I did before I put it away, and I haven't installed it yet, but about to. Um, I think it was a good game. If you have friends that also have VR, it would be fun to play with them every now and then. I don't know if it's anything that would hold my attention for too long, but I enjoyed it, and it took me a while to not suck ass. If you saw some of my old, like my footage when I first started playing, it was awful. I was I don't know. I didn't put. I'm not putting that shit anywhere. So it was that bad. And then I went to the tutorials and learned stuff. I'm like, oh shit, you actually have to learn how to play this game. And I did better, which it shows. I still wasn't first, but at least I was in halfway, 4 out of 7.
Well, I gotta quote Ricky Bobby on this. If you ain't first, you're last. So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, we have a video up on the site. You can check it out. It actually seemed really interesting, especially because Daniel and I were talking about it last night, actually, and he mentioned there were some tactics or techniques that he didn't know about until later. So even though he recorded that footage, if he were to go back and play it now, he would actually be a lot better because he realized that you could do things like turning in the air and kind of like gliding yourself. I think that's what you said, right?
I learned that stuff, and then I put it on that footage.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just not master at it. Like you'll see some people who blast right through me, and they're like, they know what they're doing.
They probably own the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's essentially the situation like any other like console release or PC game where people that have owned the game for a long time are like, haha, fucking noobs.
Like
Yeah.
Christmas noobs.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like,
Yeah.
but their thing is probably Gold Rush noobs. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good game. I encourage people who have VR to at least look into it.
maybe wait for
But
another free weekend or something.
yeah, half off or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the new Overwatch event called Retribution. We also just put up a video on that yesterday. Most of it's my footage. I think it's all my footage, really, but the first couple are just me playing it by myself. And then when Daniel got on, we recorded some footage with us as well. What do you think of the event in total?
It's kind of short. Like I kind of feel the first event was better.
The Uprising?
Yeah, Uprising.
I feel, yeah, because Uprising was different because it had like the bombs that you could push away and just like
Yeah,
um, the little Omnics that shot lasers, and it was just different. This one, very copy and paste from regular characters. Like they added a sniper. It's essentially Widow. She has a fucking grappling hook, um, and then there's kind of like the Reinhardt mixed with Bastion. Like he has a
yeah, the
heavy,
Gatling guy.
the heavy assault guy who has like Gatling guns, but then can also charge and pin you to the wall and instant kill you or instant down you. Um, and then there's kind of like the Genji, the assassin, who's like super fast and can climb walls and hang on walls and stuff. Um, if you haven't watched it, check out the video so you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was really short. The first time I played it, I was like, "That's it," and then just I played it on normal just to play it basically, and then once Daniel got on, then I had somebody that I knew I can trust because with randoms you never know. We upped the difficulty, I think first to hard, and then we were trying to do it on expert. Um, but yeah, I like a couple of the skins. Like the Sombra skin is awesome. I really wish I had got that one. I opened one of my loot boxes and I got the Soldier 24 Reaper skin, which is it's cool too, but the Sombra skin is just dope. Like that's the one I want. I might actually just buy it towards the end of the event if I don't get it. So
I think the Black Watch skins are the best skins out of all the events.
yeah, like the Moira one is dope as hell too, and I actually already had the Genji one I think from last year. Um, the only one I don't have is McCree, I believe. Well, and the Moira, but
I like McCree's. I like how he has a laser on his gun.
yeah, it's cool. Overwatch. I wouldn't say they ever disappoint, but this just seems kind of like meh.
Yeah, it wasn't as intuitive as the other one. Like as you were saying, there was this one is just kill everything for the most part, and the other one actually you had to strategize on how you would do it because it was the objectives weren't not always to kill something, like how you were talking about with the bombs. Or I guess you had to prioritize the bombs, so it was kind of killing them. But there was something more than just shoot the enemies and they die. You had to go a certain way about it.
Well, plus you had to escort the payload, so
Yeah.
um, yeah, and this one obviously felt a lot different because there were three DPS and a healer. Like, even if you were playing quick play, that's a shitty comp. Like, I mean, even though it's only 4 out of 6 people, but I mean, still, like, at least one tank or maybe a second heal would have been good. But I guess in terms of like the lore and like the whole Blackwatch thing, they did it like that. Um, it's just good that Moira fits into that because if you go back to last year before Moira was in the game and if they wanted to do a Black Watch, like who would have been the healer? Like they just randomly had Zen. Like,
Hmm. Well, he is part of Overwatch, so
well, I know, but it's just I don't know. Can you
yeah,
imagine? Can you imagine Zen wearing like a black and red kind of like outfit? That actually might look really cool.
it would look cool, but contradictory to his character model in a sense.
Yeah,
But yeah, I know, I understand what you're saying.
yeah. So I mean, overall, it was just kind of meh, but I don't know. I definitely want that Sombra skin. So, but if I don't get it by the end of the event, I'll probably buy it. So, moving on to I know Daniel might have a lot more to say about the Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell crossover mission that came out on Tuesday. We talked about it in the last podcast, and it's finally here. And we also have some footage of that on our YouTube page from when we were trying to beat it on our Twitch stream and failing miserably.
Pretty bad.
I was essentially kind of broke down into Daniel doing his thing and me hanging in the back, and I was chatting with one of my viewers the entire time. So, but as of last night, we can say that firmly that we had beaten it, and we beat it on tier one expert or whichever one's higher. I think tier one might actually be higher than expert.
Expert's the difficulty. Tier one's our rank.
Well, but I thought it was.
It forces us to play expert after we get to a certain tier.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So basically, we have such a high rank on tier one that it forced us to play expert. So we have officially beaten the Splinter Cell mission on expert,
Expert, yes.
and I believe we're gonna have footage of that coming up soon, and we might actually even have a strategy video on that. So
For those of you who want to beat it with two people, because I think that was harder than people soloing it. Because if for these of you guys who don't play Ghost Recon or don't play cooperative Ghost Recon, when anyone joins your game, you lose your whole squad. So even though it's just me and Matt, we lose three AI. So you go down from being a four-man squad to a two-man squad, and then the AI itself, has I guess AI buffers that you would put in any game because AI is stupid, where they can take more hits and they can pretty much act as a sponge for you. So I haven't tested it out yet, but I'm pretty sure that us doing it with two people was a little bit harder than someone doing it by themselves due to the lack of AI support.
yeah, and that's something that we discussed off camera as well. Is that uh, the AI, as Daniel mentioned, are kind of like bullet sponges, where in the fact that like if he were to go down and if he was playing by himself, the AI could just like run through all the bullets, all the bad guys, explosions, whatever, and just be like, "Hey, I got you," and then pick him up. Whereas, as you'll see eventually in our footage, I kind of have to be like really fucking far away from all the bad guys, and send my medic drone in to heal him when he goes down, and vice versa. There were a couple times he had to actually send it out to heal me, even though I was way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, not you know not even in the midst of the action. But the AI was programmed to be like super hard, and they basically gave us the middle finger in this one section.
Yeah, and their aim is really good and expert. Like, damn, you barely get seen. The damage, like, it's just you're dead.
Yeah,
It's pretty insane.
at least for the
Yeah,
Unidad, the Santa Blanca have like dual Uzis and they can still hurt, but I feel like you have less of a chance against the Unidad. And we were reading, I guess, a press release or an article about the game, and the developers of the game, I forget which studio in specific, aside from Ubisoft, like which specific Ubisoft studio, but they said that this Splinter Cell mission is supposed to be one of the most difficult missions in the game, and I would attest to that just on the fact that they said that the ghosts are supposed to be able to use all the tools at their disposal in order to get it done, and we really couldn't.
no,
Our hands were tied, like because you're not. If you get detected, mission over. If you kill someone, mission over. So you had to be super stealthy and basically use prone. Prone is god.
yeah, and you'll
So
see that on our video.
yeah, yeah. So if we were actually able to use all the tools at our disposal, then I feel like it would have gone a lot smoother and the mission would have been a lot easier. But since we weren't, I think it was pretty hard, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty hard, and like you said, if we were able to kill, we can isolate people and just take quick shots, take them out, and we've done that many times in the game, so it would have been nothing new to us. But
Well,
the
go ahead.
well, I'm just saying, but the fact that you can't be seen, you can't kill, that whole adds a different element to the game, and I was pretty much just abusing their little scene system by staying prone the whole time.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, I feel like they missed an opportunity with this mission in that, as we discussed, I think on our stream, that in previous, in Splinter Cell games, you basically can like stealth kill or knock out or whatever, and then hide the bodies. Why would you not at least be able to do that in this mission? So if you sneak up behind one of the Unidad, it gives you an option, and even if you push knock out, it still counts as a kill, and so the mission fails. I feel like we should have at least been able to like, walk up behind them. If we were good enough to stealth behind them, we should have the option to kill them, and then just
Yeah,
drag their body out of the base or whatever. And that to me that would have felt a lot more Splinter Cell like. Whereas this was as cool as it was, by the way, having Michael Ironside in the game and have his voice, him being the one giving us the dialogue. As cool as that was, I feel like this is like kind of a weak crossover in the sense that they could have done more to make it Splinter Cell like, and they didn't.
I agree with you. I think that they could have done more, and the mechanics were already in the game, so it's not like they're inventing anything. Uh, but all in all, I kind of enjoyed the challenge of it. It was something different, and I was free.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't beat free.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, we would like to announce that we have another giveaway. Do you want to tell them how to do it, or do you want me to tell them?
You explain it since you're more familiar with it.
All right. So, what I'm going to cut to here in a second is going to our website, thatdamnbrand.com, and clicking on the contest link at the top of the page, the little tab. And once you click on it, it'll show you our current contests. And in this case, it is the Ghost Recon Wildlands key giveaway. But it's one of those giveaways where you have to do specific actions, and the more actions that you actually complete, the more entries you have to win. So, unlike our YouTube comment giveaway, which was if you commented, you had a chance to win, this is one where if you complete all the actions, you get more entries. And so, the more entries you have, the higher percentage chance you have to win. So, it would behoove you, I like that word, it would behoove you to complete all of the actions to give yourself the most chances to win. I feel like that was pretty well explained. Is there?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So as you can see here, there's just different things that you can do, and that will enter you into the competition. So good luck. We have it running for, I believe, 16 days, a little over 2 weeks, and so that'll give you a chance to, if you don't already, That'll give you a chance to actually own Ghost Recon Wildlands and play through this mission yourself. And
And
who,
maybe get his goggles.
yes, and maybe unlock Sam Fisher's sonar goggles. And who knows, if you win and you're interested in playing with us, maybe we'll have another person to add to our squad. And we can help you out with the game because we've already beaten it. We've unlocked pretty much 100% of it. So,
Yeah, I really do like the game. I'm glad they're doing a year two, to be honest.
yeah, just if only we got into the PvP, but
I like the PvP. It's all right.
yeah.
But it's just there's just so much to play right now. It's really hard to just sit down and play one game.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're coming close to the end. There's one more thing I wanted to mention now that we've got the giveaway out of the way. If you haven't heard or you've been living under a rock, Drake is a rapper who's well known. He's released a lot of music. Uh, anyway, he recently joined a stream with like the top Twitch streamer at the moment named Ninja, and they played a round of Fortnite together that broke like all the Twitch streaming records and all kinds of everything. Like it was really popular, and they played together, and it was a thing. Well, they got together and played again recently. It didn't break any records or anything, but obviously it's still popular. And I believe it was Ninja who told Drake that he should make a rap about Fortnite because it's so popular and all that. And Drake basically said that if Epic Games adds the Hotline Bling emote to Fortnite, that he will spit some hot Fortnite verses on his new album. Can you believe that shit?
I've seen crazier things.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's
What's
kind of like a crossover, but
it's PR for both of them.
can you imagine like just somebody, Drake, his rapping style and just being like, yeah, Fortnite, whatever. Like I don't know.
I'm not really familiar with some of his music.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, he also mentioned, and by he I mean Drake, that another rapper was apparently working on some kind of like sampling Fortnite music or something and on one of their tracks. So I don't know. We'll see. Eventually, maybe we'll have a rap record with nothing but Fortnite music.
Oh God, that's all we need.
Yeah. So who knows? But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Unless there's anything else you wanted to mention.
Can't think of anything.
All right then. So again, we have that giveaway going on, and by now you should have saw how to do it. But we'll go ahead and link to it in the description and give you more details there. Um, so I guess for this episode, I've been Matthew,
I've been Daniel.
and we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yep. Peace.
Bye.